Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Amanda of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this little pig card. It's a brand new stamp set called This Little Piggy. I'm going to explain about the stamp set in a minute, but it's actually from this book. Now this, if you haven't seen it already, is the brand new Stampin' Up 2017 annual catalogue. It launched on the 1st of June. If you would like your own copy and you're in the UK, France, Germany, Austria or the Netherlands, I'll be able to send you a copy. So do email me, amanda@inspiringinkin.com, and give me your address and contact details and I'll get one in the post to you. It is a fabulous catalogue. I've already spent way too much money, but it stamps and I love them. So I'm really excited and I'm sure you will be too. Now this stamp set, the reason I'm using this stamp set called This Little Piggy is because I wanted to do a quick video tutorial about watercolouring. Now lots of my customers in my classes, whenever I say, oh, we've got watercolouring today, their faces fall a little bit and they're kind of not sure. And I know it's something that some people are a little bit afraid of or not sure how to do it. So I just kind of do this. I just kind of squiggle. So I just wanted to share that with you and to show you that actually you can't get it wrong. So it's a great plan to have a go at it, and I'm sure you'll be delighted with your own results. So what I've got is stamp set, powder pink. Now this is a brand new in colour for this year. I think we're going to be referring it to as Piggy pink because it's perfect pig colour. Powder pink, wild wasabi, soft sky and basic grey. Now basic grey is an archival ink rather than the standard Stampin' Up inks, which are water based. And this is really important to stop your images running when you put water on them. You need this. So the archival comes in grey and in black. I prefer the grey, it's sort of a little bit softer. And I've got my aqua painters. Now a normal paintbrush and a pot of water will work perfectly if that's what you prefer. I am a messy crafter. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I get covered in ink and glue and all sorts. I'm messy, so me actually having a cup of water on the table is a really bad idea because I'll knock it over. So these are fabulous and they just unscrew and you just put water in here and it means I can watercolour without the risk of a flood all over my desk. Now I'm using inks today, but equally you can use our watercolour pencils, that would work, but the technique that I'm using is using inks. The colours, I've got soft sky card blank, powder pink layer and a whisper white layer, and then this, which is shimmery white cardstock. Now if you are putting water on your card, so as we're doing today with watercolouring, either use shimmery white or watercolour paper. I prefer shimmery white because it's smooth and I get a cleaner image, but the watercolour paper obviously works really well too. Okay, so what are the other things I need to show you? The stamp set. Okay, so This Little Piggy. It's a really fun set. It's got some really fun sentiments, but I want to show you what I've actually done. It's a red rubber stamp set, and each of the images, so like this one, the flying pig here, it says she believed she could, and the stamp is the whole thing, so it's the image and the words. But what I've done is taken my scissors to it, and I'll turn the camera around so you can actually see easier actually this way round. So what I've done, so if you can imagine, that is what it looked like originally, and I've actually taken my scissors to it and I've actually chopped off the words and the image, because I wanted to be able to have different words with different images. So I've done that actually with all of them. So I could put any words with any image. So I know it kind of goes against the grain, doesn't it, really, to cut your stamps, but I do it quite often, and it just means that you're maximising what you've got. Okay, so I'm using the dancing pig, and what I'm going to do is use my basic grey. I'm going to stamp the pig first, and then it says this little piggy, and I'm just going to stamp that there, and oh, I'm throwing them everywhere. Okay, so let me just press that down. I'm just going to do the clouds. Make sure you have an odd number of clouds. I've actually caught the edge of the stamp there, but it's okay because I have one I made earlier. There we go. So that will be your stamped image, but as I said, here's one I made earlier. The reason for that actually is you really need to let the basic grey ink dry a little bit. It doesn't need hours, but I would give it 5 or 10 minutes just to make sure it's really dry. So that'll be ready for watercolouring in a minute. I just need to do the inside, and I'm just going to. The original one says this little piggy says thanks, but I'm actually going to have this little piggy loves you. And then I've got this. Now, the eagle-eyed people will have noticed that twice now my stamps have pinged off my blocks. Stamping up cling stamps sometimes don't cling. Now, basically, what you need to do is you take your stamp and your acrylic block, and what I would suggest is if your stamps aren't clinging, wash your acrylic blocks first with a bit of fairy liquid or dishwashing liquid, and just make sure they're really clean, because oils from our hands, from hand cream and that kind of stuff, get onto the blocks, and glue and various other things. So give them a good wash. When they're nice and clean, when you put the stamp on, actually put it down and count 5 elephants. 1 elephant, 2 elephants, 3 elephants, 4 elephants, 5 elephants. And that should mean that it sticks, and it sticks really well. But you do have to put quite a lot of pressure on with that. Okay, so now I'm just going to put some piggy hoof prints down the bottom of that. So that's the inside done. Okay, so now let's get to the fun bit, which is the watercolouring. Now, our Stampin' Up! Ink is water-based, so you can add water to it and watercolour with it. In order to get the ink so you can use it, what you want to do is put your fingers on the ink pad like that and squash it. And what then happens is you end up with ink on the lid. So I'm doing that on all 3 colours. Okay, and I'll bring them in a bit so you can see them a bit better. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the grass, and then the sky, and then the piggy. So I'm just going to squeeze the aqua painter a little bit, so we just get a little bit of water onto the ink and just mix it up. Now obviously the more water you put in, the paler the colour. I just want enough water on it so that I can move it without it dragging. And I think that actually that is probably the biggest hint and tip I can give you. If your paintbrush isn't wet enough, it kind of sticks to the paper and you end up with harsh lines. You want it to flow and be smooth, so you want it wet enough to do that. So I'm just, remember when I said at the beginning it was like a squiggle? That's all I'm going to do. Nothing technical here. So I've got it on, and then I'm just going to squiggle it like that. And the whole thing about watercolouring is it's a suggestion of colour, as opposed to kind of in the lines and really tight and everything else. It's just a suggestion of colour. And what I am going to do is I'm just going to go with a few bits up where the piggy's feet are, and those little grass bits. I'm going to put a tiny bit on the leaf there, and then I'm just going to run it down the stem of that flower as well. Okay, so then I'm just cleaning my brush off on my grid paper, and then I'm going to put a bit more water, and that's on the soft sky. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round the piggy first, because I want that to dry quicker. And so then when I go with the pink, it's not going to run. So I'm just going to squiggle again. So I'm just squiggling and just moving the colour around. So there we go. And you can always go back and add a little bit more. So you can add a little bit more colour. And you can see how wet my paintbrush is. It's really quite wet, but it's not really causing any damage to the paper. It will dry soon enough. And then I'm just going around the clouds because I want the clouds to be white. And there we go. Okay. So I'll clean that one, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close those up. I'm just giving that sky just a minute, really, to dry off. And then actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different aqua painter. Now, let me just show you these. So when you buy the aqua painters, they come in a set of two. So you've got quite a broad brush tip and then a narrower one. I think that's great because you can get really big swathes of colour, and then with the littler one you can do a bit more detail. So again, water, and then I'm just going to squiggle all over the pig. And this little paw there. And there we go. And there's little pig. Now I've realised on this original card I didn't actually you can see I didn't actually colour in the flower. So what I'm actually going to do is just get a deeper pink colour with my watercolour pencils. I'm just going to do that. You can just colour in these just as they are, but I just, since I've got the aqua painters out, I will use the aqua painter just to soften up the colour, and you can just see how that works. So there we go. So there's the original one. Let's just do this one. Okay, so there is your watercolour card. So what I'm going to do now is just assemble it. Move those things out of the way. Trusty Tombow glue. Now, just before I do that, can you see if I put this, I'm hoping the camera's going to be able to pick it up. It is slightly bowed, It does curl just a tiny bit, then you put water on it, but by the time it's all glued down it'll be fine. So Tombow around the edge, onto the pink layer. That's the inside layer. Right, so that's that one. And then this one. And that goes on the front. And there you have it. So there is a very quick watercoloured card. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial on watercolouring. Should you wish to purchase any of the products that you've seen today, please pop over to my blog www.inspiringinkin.com, where you'll find a link to my online store. If you're on YouTube, you can actually scroll down and click on the See More button and you'll find more details, along with a link to the blog post that you'll find this on, and links to my online store as well. Do give watercolouring a go, it's a lot of fun. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!